Start the recording. Switch us on to this map. All right. So welcome back, guys. Believe it or not, this is our 20th session of the Ophion, if you include session 0, which is kind of monumental to me. We're almost half a year into this thing. Just wanted to say thanks for sticking around this long, and I really appreciate it as a GM. I only have a couple of announcements. The first being, as you might guess by the overlay, we are running a smaller group today, simply because a few people are out for Easter shenanigans or for work. So what we're doing kind of is a lower deck style episode. Unlike the first one we did, this one is going to be all supporting characters, because I figure we have something like 15 supporting characters, and some of them don't have a whole lot of characterization. So I'm hoping this episode will kind of shed some light onto some of the supporting characters we've seen kind of in the background, and give them some character. The other kind of pseudo announcement I have is kind of in the same vein. Depending on how much my lovely players do depend, as much as my players RP today, this might be a shorter session, or this could be a longer one. It's really up to them. But without any further ado, we are going to start the session with a log from our very most recent supporting character, Sfarja. And I actually have that log, so let me pull it up. Alright, so, Justikar Sfarja, personal log, stardate 55298.1. As part of the effort to integrate me into normal ship operations aboard the Starfleet vessel Ophion, I have been asked to record my activities in a narrative format. In the time since my release from stasis, I have studied the culture and technology of my rescuers, that of the Federation of the whole, and of Starfleet. My conclusion is that I am dealing with a Type 6 civilization, one that is on the verge of crossing the threshold into what my species would deem the role of galactic keepers. Given how fast they seem to be developing new technological breakthroughs, I foresee them progressing to what they deem megastructures within 2 centuries or less. I am glad that I've been found by such a civilization, though it is at least a millennia behind the Fryqua. It is sufficiently advanced enough that I need not worry about major cultural and/or technological contamination. Not that I would even be capable of such, even if I tried. I am a soldier and a former officer of the law, not a scientist or an engineer. Not to mention the fact that Starfleet seems to have what they call a prime directive that supposedly prevents such things from happening in the first place. In any event, I have been looking into what information about the Ophion's crew I can get my hands on to judge who outside of the senior staff to approach first. As they say, the best intel is kind of in the weeds or on the ground. I believe I've narrowed down the possible candidates to 4 or 5 in total. It is my hope that my interactions with these individuals will help cement my place on this ship, for better or worse. End log. And as you can probably already see on the screen, we kind of open up with Sfarja waiting at Turbolift Junction 7C, and kind of a bit of a primer on Junction 7C. There is a large turbolift network that runs through Deck 7, and because the ship does separate, there are junctions in the ship where you do have to kind of transfer turbolifts, and this just happens to be one such junction. And we start off with Bishop's character that he'll be playing today. Bishop, your character just has now stepped off a turbolift. And if you could go ahead and introduce your character a little bit and tell us about them.
Yes, well, I will be playing Ensign Sanford Patrick Quakenbush, security officer through and through for his entire Starfleet career, and he couldn't be happier. Yes, he was... notable career events include him single-handedly holding off a Cardassian strike force on a Federation border world with nothing but a ornamental saber and a bar stool turned into a makeshift shield, and saving a small colony that was in danger of being overrun by fungus-based macro life form that suddenly cropped up on the southeast peninsula of the continent by taking the half-functional colony shuttles, jury-rigging them together with tractor beams so they can all lift each other, and doing a 40-mile hop over the nearest mountain range. And in recognition of his services, he was given a position aboard one of the new Prometheus-class vessels. Not that he minds either way, as long as he can do his duty for Starfleet and for his crew, he is happy.
Okay. And run the pronunciation of his name by me again, because I know we've been butchering it.
Quakenbush, sir. Ensign Quakenbush.
Quakenbush, got it.
As in Quatermass.
Quatermass, okay. So as you step off, you do, of course, see Sfarja kind of sitting on one of the benches, and she actually kind of waves you over.
Ah, Sfarja, a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, Ensign Quakenbush, yes?
Indeed.
Please have a seat if you have a moment.
Oh, but of course.
I hope you don't mind, but I've been reading through your service record, or at least what service record they allow me to see, and I'm curious. It says here you held off a species called the Cardassians with half a bar stool. Could you? I'm interested. Could you tell me more about that?
Well, to be fair, the bar stool came in right at the end. The long version is that Cardassian strike force, which the civilian government, of course, later disavowed all association with, attempted a raid on a Federation border world. I organized the civilians into a makeshift militia as best I could. We holed up in the embassy, and once all the ammunition ran out, I rigged the generators to send out an EMP pulse, disable all the energy weaponry in range, and then just held the entrance for as long as I could, and fortunately it was long enough.
It's a rather bit of ingenious tactics there. I'm still a little bit curious, though. What drove you to pick up a bar stool as kind of a defensive weapon?
Honestly, I needed something to do with the left hand, and, well, there wasn't really anything else around that worked as a shield.
Well, of course, if you have the time, I actually have something, a bit of an activity planned. I would be grateful if you were able to join me for this.
I'm all ears.
Excellent. And it's about this time that, where is he? Senior Chief Tin. This time, the Senior Chief arrives. So I believe that is Locke. So Locke, if you want to give us a small primer.
Senior Chief Tin. Been in Starfleet for 15 years. I'm good at what I do. As I read off the little description. I'm Andorian. Do my job. Keep my head down, which is hard because of the antenna. I love my job. I'm so very happy here. I'm that guy who's in the background of all the shots and has 5 hours of makeup every day, but never gets any lines.
Well, hopefully we can change that. So as you step off the turbo lift, you of course see Sfarja and Quakenbush, and Sfarja again kind of waves you on over, if you so wish.
Sfarja, Ensign.
Senior Chief Tin, do you have a moment?
Of course. I'm always happy to help.
Excellent. Well, please have a seat if you wish. I was going over some service records and been talking with some of the senior staff, and to be blunt, you seem to have a rather unique skill.
Do you mean the Ushi, a musical instrument? That's also a weapon. I'm told it is melodic and graceful and brings tears to the eyes.
Actually, no, I didn't know about that, but good to know. No, I was referring to the fact that you seem to be the type of man who gets to go unnoticed wherever he goes. And in my experience, that type of person is really valuable when it comes to intelligence gathering or, you know, collecting stories. And I'm just curious if you had any interesting stories to tell that, you know, kind of being a wallflower, you would have picked up on.
Not much of a storyteller, just a mechanic. Spend most of my time up to my elbows in conduits and panels. I keep the air systems flowing. Not much in the way of interesting events. I could tell you this time about how I had to strip a flow regulator in 30 seconds or a ship would explode, but don't know why I was going to explode. Just know I was facing a whole bunch of grease and plasma exhaust.
Huh. Well, as I just told my lovely friend the ensign here, if you have some time on your hands, I have a bit of an activity for us all later, if you would care to join us.
I'd love to. I'm excited to be part of the team.
I love his monotone voice. It's amazing. All right. Next up to arrive is our new supporting character, as played by Panek. So Panek, as your character steps off the turbolift, if you could give us a primer.
He's about 6'3", very wide. Got a wide strip of black hair along his head. He's a bit gruff, having grown up on freighters since he was abandoned as a kid. And he just kind of keeps to himself. He doesn't make a lot of friends. He doesn't. But once you get him talking, you know, he doesn't tend to shut up.
And he is a Lurian, right? So he's just like Morn.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's resistant to poisons and toxins.
It's always a good skill to have. So yeah, when you step off into the corridor, you see what appears to be a growing group. And once again, Svarja just kind of smiles and waves you on over.
I'll approach something I can help you with, miss.
You are Lieutenant Junior Grade, and she looks at a pad, Zeb, right?
That's correct.
I believe you already know the ensign here and the senior chief.
Sir.
I had a few questions for you, if that's all right, if you've got the time.
I just came off shift. I was on my way to grab some Enyaq milk. What do you need?
Well, if you're headed to the duck, that's kind of actually where I wanted to take us all next. We actually need to grab someone there that intrigues me as much as you do, Zeb. I understand that most Lurians don't really leave the Ionite Nebula. If you don't mind me asking, what prompted you to, join up with Starfleet?
Wasn't really my choice, was it? Bunch of kooks took me, gonna run into a black hole somewhere, and decided to leave me with a freighter captain. Oh, I don't like talking about it.
That's understandable. Sorry if it's a sensitive matter. But come, let's head to the duck. That way we can grab our last member, and I can lay out the activity I have planned. And so at this point, you all kind of start heading towards the duck. Where is the duck map? There it is. And eventually, all of you kind of arrive into the duck. And it's fairly filled out. I would say probably about 10 or so other individuals in here besides yourselves. But the target of interest, at least to Svarja anyway, seems to be the Gorn bartender, obviously behind the bar. So Svarja just kind of looks around, takes stock of the situation, then kind of heads on over to the bar and takes a seat and says, how do I even say this name? Sarika, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Svarja. I don't think I've been in here before.
Right. You were the one they were talking about. Okay.
Oh, people have been talking about me. Hopefully they've said good things.
Give me an Enyaq's milk with a raw egg in it.
Mostly positive, mostly positive. I mean, I get the sense that the crew is getting used to welcoming new crew members every second away mission.
Sparta doesn't know whether to laugh or not, but she does kind of look at you with a raised eyebrow.
Yes, I mean, between you, the Slough engineer, and the 2 Scorpii that arrived just the other month.
Huh. Well, that's...
This ship sure is becoming a collection.
No, that's just the Federation, though. You know, I don't care. I don't care what you look like.
I mean, it helps if you breathe oxygen.
Why you're in.
That's basically it.
Yeah, you're one to talk, Shrika.
Boy, you don't think my feminine charm can do anything for you?
I think you're barking up the wrong tree.
So I'm sorry, you're a female. I had no idea. I apologize for all the times I said, "Hey, Mr. Bartender." I am deeply sorry.
Yeah. The difference is us females are a little bluer and a bit larger than the males.
Also, I'd like to order a drink if you have time.
I always have the time.
Could I have an apple teeny with a lemon twist?
Yeah. That's not what I expected, but I aim to please.
Thank you very much. I like it. Pick me up after work.
And a sour shovel porter for me.
I'm going to gulp down half my Enyaq's milk, and then I'll turn to Sparja and look down at the bartender. What's this game you've got?
Well, it actually involves our lovely friend bartender here, if she is interested. Basically, I have found that the best way to get to know someone, or at least get a feeling for, I believe the expression is get a feeling for their gumption, is to engage in a little bit of calisthenics. And as I have never used a holodeck before, of course I'm aware of what one is, but I don't know how they really differ from the Fryqua holo simulations. That is why I have asked Senior Chief Tin to come with us to kind of provide a scientific and or engineering bit of mindset. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Basically, I would like it if the 4 of you would join me for a little bit of this calisthenics program.
Oh, I'm always up for a bit of physical exercise.
I'd be delighted.
If Quackenbush is doing it, I'll do it.
I mean, it depends. What kind of calisthenics do you plan on us doing?
Well, and she kind of proffers a pad that she's been carrying with her. I found one that is set on a world named Ryza, and supposedly it has all sorts of enemy combatants that they can throw at you. Let's see here, and she kind of scrolls through. Cardassians, Borg, Orion, Gorn. She kind of looks up at Shrika and raises an eyebrow, but doesn't really pause too long. Let's see. Something called Species 8472. Really, the list is extensive. I get the feeling you could probably tell the computer anything, and it'd come up with something.
Not quite the vacation one takes to Ryza, I think.
I mean, I am the one that added the Gorn in, so we might be doing different calisthenics.
I was about to wonder about that. This is a Ryzen program.
Species 842. Remind me of those again?
I believe those were the ones that Voyager encountered in the Delta Quadrant.
They are from fluidic space. They
Oh, yes. Those.
3 legs, very fast, about 9 feet tall.
Not
I
the
heard
fun tripod.
their declassified logs got passed around the ship when they came back. I didn't take much interest in it.
I don't tend to read the logs. I tend to just listen.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's your job. You would.
So Svarja actually takes the opportunity to say, kind of along those lines, Shrika, you're one of the very few civilians on this ship, as far as I've been able to tell. How did you manage it?
Mm. Parents were part of the KDF, and once the first ceasefire was established, my mother was sent over as part of an officer exchange program, and my father came with her. They both got on one of those fancy galaxy ships where everyone's families were aboard, and we just stayed.
That actually brings up an interesting kind of situation. I understand, and then she says this to everyone. I understand that apparently Starfleet usually has families and such aboard, but this vessel doesn't really seem to have that. I'm guessing this isn't common?
Only some of the larger vessels have families. And since the war,
the Galaxy classes are definitely so. Those ships are designed to go on extensive missions for months, even years at a time. So it was decided it was better for morale to have families along. Ships like this one, the Prometheus. I mean, well, the Prometheus was developed during the war, so it was designed first and foremost as a military vessel, and then later on repurposed as a science one.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me anyway. I don't think you really need your family running around with you in space.
Does seem kind of like a liability, doesn't it? Of course you want to keep family close. And just for a very brief moment, there is kind of a distant expression on her face. But it very quickly goes away. And she says, I don't know. If this were still a Fryqua vessel, I don't think I'd want my family on the ship with me. But perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself here. She takes a look at the board behind the bar and says, "This draconic wand Jin. What can you tell me about it, Shrika?"
Oh, it might help if I didn't have my mic muted. It's a gin that we found. It's this little outpost that's near the Draconian Nebula. For whatever reason, they figured that they might as well just shove that onto the name of the gin. It's a little spicy. Imagine honey flavored, but with a nice little cinnamon kick at the end.
I have no idea what any of those things are, but it sounds amazing.
Pour her a little shot glass of it and pass it along and say, "You're about to find out."
All right. She kind of picks it up, takes a look at it, and says, "Do I do it all in one gulp, or?"
It's up to you.
She does one of those cursory sniffs, looks at everyone to see if anybody has any advice, and if no one says anything, she will shotgun the whole thing.
Yeah, it's only like maybe a shot and a half in there. It's not like a full pint glass or anything.
Okay. So she shotguns it, and she kind of goes one of those, whew, that is an interesting little drink you have there. Curious, can I replicate this?
I've only received a couple bottles and I haven't put them into the computer yet, but I don't see why I wouldn't be able to.
Well, I'd love to, I'd That's kind of
just be aware the replicators default to synth-hole. It requires a bit of know-how and tinkering to get them to give you the actual stuff.
I'll teach you the know-how in tinkering.
And Svarja actually does also look to Senior Chief Tin, and she says, how easy is it?
Mostly programming the mechanical. Get through a few overrides. Haven't done it myself. Like to keep alert.
Don't let Panek catch you doing it. He likes to bust balls.
Well, to be fair, that is his job.
Yeah, the little I've interacted with him so far, he, I believe the human expression is a stick up the ass.
That sounds so uncomfortable. Why would anyone want to stick up their ass?
Well, I mean, they don't. That's kind of the whole point.
Humans, such strange creatures.
Well, we try. We try.
If you all are ready, let's go ahead and adjourn to the holodeck. I'm eager to get this program started.
Starfield wipe.
Yep. And I gotta find where I put the holodeck map. There it is. So Shrika, I'm assuming you go with them.
Yeah, call over one of the other civilians and just have them start tending bar.
Okay. You also have the emergency bartender hologram, should you need it. Because no good holodeck or holo emitter equipped ship doesn't have a holo bartender.
Is it really an emergency bartender there?
You never know. You could need some sort of stiff drink for someone injured. You never know. Any event, though. You guys kind of head down to the holodeck on, I believe it's deck 10. And, you kind of all step inside, and it, looks as an unactivated holodeck would. And Svarja, again, kind of holds up the pad and says, computer, go ahead and run program RISA 7. And please give us appropriate combatants. And the computer gives one of those, needs more information beeps and says, please restate query. And Svarja says, give us someone to fight. And the computer again kind of beeps and says, please specify species and or difficulty. And at this, Svarja does kind of look to all of you for input.
Cardassians level 1.
I mean, honestly, speaking for myself personally, I've had enough of Cardassians to last me for the next couple of years. What do you say we mix it up and have some Orions?
I don't care. Whatever you want to pick.
Well, don't sound too disappointed that we're here.
I just can't remember the last time I've been in one of these where I haven't been fixing and realigning the sensors. So I'm thrilled to be part of anything.
I'm just sick of all the battle drills Panek keeps assigning us.
What do you fight in the battle drills?
Mixture of Romulans and Klingons and stuff like that.
Alright, well, maybe some Orions mixed in with Borg then. That would be a nice change of pace.
And Svarja does add, hell, let's throw one of these 8472 species. I'm curious to see what they're like. And the computer beeps affirmatively this time, and the world around you changes. And you guys find yourselves, you might need to zoom out a little bit just to see the whole map. Before I get into too much detail, there is kind of a green grid that you hopefully can kind of see. It doesn't quite match up with the actual tiles, so you might need to move a little bit more or a little bit less than you were expecting. Since this is going to come up, the medium range is going to be 30 feet, and the ruler tool should be appropriate here. But in any case, as the world around you changes, you guys find yourselves in a seaside courtyard, and it's in typical Ryzian fashion. It is full of beautiful flowers, very sculpted greenery, and it overlooks the ocean to the south. And there is kind of a fountain here in the middle that has a what is it called? Not is it the Hortagon?
So that's the book that Riker gave the guard.
Yeah, whatever the little sculpture thing is. But it's basically
one is the same thing, but the book is just about the sculpture.
Well, whatever the sculpture's name is, it's H something. It's basically a water spitting fixture like that. And as you kind of look around, get a stock for your feeling, or a feel for your scenery. I can speak words today. Svarja says, "Huh. So are most of your Federation worlds like this?"
Well, Riser is known for being particularly beautiful. It's one of the more popular holiday destinations in the Federation.
Popular, also.
A bit of a marvel of climate engineering, the place. I mean, the planet's natural ecology is monsoon jungle for the most part.
It reminds me of the Cradle project, though, on a smaller scale.
Yes, our terraforming and climate engineering is respectable, but certainly not on a stellar engineering scale yet.
She looks to Tin and says, "Do you have any background in terraforming? Just out of curiosity."
No. Been on spaceships most of my life, and space stations. I know a lot about atmospheric reclamation and those kind of systems, but nothing about terraforming.
Zeb is gonna.
I was briefly stationed on a planet that was in the process of being terraformed, but that kind of came to a close rather quickly when we accidentally woke up a macro life form that was the size of an entire peninsula.
Zeb is gonna slightly nudge Tin with his arm and say, "Never heard you so chatty before, Chief. What's got you so talkative?"
No one's shown interest in before.
Oh God, poor guy. Oh. So right about then is when the holodeck begins to materialize combatants for you. And I thought about how best to do this because you guys could have literally picked any species. So I went with a basic placeholder token. So you're just going to have to kind of theater of the mind, imagine them as different species. And for the moment, 6 of them materialize, and it's a good mixture between Romulans, Orion. There's an 8472 thrown in the mix. There's a Borg, and for the moment they seem kind of frozen in place. And the computer asks, "Specify ranged or melee combat." And again, Svarja just kind of looks to all of you.
I'm a fan of a mixture. Keeps you on your toes.
Random distances.
Okay. Please
I like
stay.
to get up close and right in people's faces. That's where I do my best.
Right, so the computer beeps and says, "Please specify required weaponry, if any."
Weaponry for us or for them, computer?
For the players, quote unquote.
Oh, standard phaser for me.
Okay.
Batleth for me.
Okay.
Short sword.
Okay.
Ushan Tor picks.
All right. And seeing pretty much everyone but Quake and Bush take it, Sparja just kind of says, computer, do you have Fryqua ceremonial weapon on hand? And the computer beeps and says, please restate query. And Fryqua just kind of sighs and says, give me a batleth. And as all these weapons materialize, we are going to, of course, engage in a little bit of combat. How I want to do this combat, I think, is I'm more focused on how you guys react as a group than I am per se about, say, how much damage you're doing. So kind of a flavorful episode. So if you have a specific attack in mind you want to do, or specific maneuver, please feel free to flavor as much as you want. But we will say, for sake of argument, it is the player's turn first. So which one of you would like to go first?
What are the enemy? What are they wielding?
It all depends on the species. Obviously, the Borg is coming as itself. Same with 8472. The Romulans are carrying what appear to be disruptors. The Orions have a kind of wicked-looking dagger. And who am I missing? Pretty much everyone else either has a dagger or a disruptor pistol. Only one... Oh, I guess I didn't put him on the map. There's two actually back here as well. Only the two in the back, kind of the north of the map, they have disruptor rifles, but no melee weapons. But yeah, which one of you would like to go first?
All right, well, Quakenbush will sort of hop up behind one of the pillars to get some cover.
Okay.
And we'll start aiming his phaser at the nearest guy with a melee weapon.
Okay, that would in fact be this guy here. So yeah, go ahead and roll me a control plus security. The difficulty is a 2.
1 second. Yeah, sorry, all the sheets disappeared when I accidentally backed out of the chat window.
Yeah, Roll20. Roll20's been a little bit buggy these past couple days.
Alrighty. I've forgotten what phaser is. It's security plus daring, I think?
Control.
Control.
And it is difficulty 2.
You wouldn't have to know the page I could find stuff for like the melee weapons, would you?
Do you want the damage, or do you want actions you can take?
Both.
All right. Well, the table for the damage is like 192. And the combat actions begin on page 172. So yeah, Quake and Bush, you do succeed, and you guys start off with momentum. Good start to the session. So yeah, Quake and Bush, go ahead and roll damage, and if you'd like, flavor your shot.
Alrighty, well, let's find out how much damage I do. Oh, bother. Forgot the weapon has its own macro.
I don't know if it works, but I guess this is a good time to check if, in any case, see if it does. I don't think that's adding your security. Yeah, that's not adding your 5 security.
Ah, right. No, it isn't.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll an additional 5 for your high security score there. Okay.
There we go.
So this will be enough to effectively injure the combatant. So I'm going to let you pick species and how you hit it.
Alrighty, so he goes after the nearest Orion with a dagger and sort of aims low and gets him a shot right in the sort of just below the rib cage near the waist.
Okay. So kind of in reaction to this, the Orion reels backwards and falls to the ground, not quite convulsing, but twitching a little bit from being stunned. And next up is the hollow combatants. And this one here, over to the right of Tin, is going to run up and attempt to melee him. So this is, of course, an opposed daring plus security. Let's see how well the hollow combatant does. Well, he gets one success. So, Tin, you need to roll me at least a 2 successes, or you will be hit. So yeah, Tin, you will get a counterattack here. So as you roll damage, feel free to flavor away.
One second. Figure out how many challenge dice.
Okay, that's, again, the magic number.
What was the opponent? It was a...
It's up to you. It can be whatever kind of opponent you wish.
So, the Orion charges at him brazenly, rushing and filling, and Tin just, like, holds up his Ushan at the last second, and the guy runs right into it.
Kind of gores himself on it, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is it's a Ushan, a nice minor tool that we use for carving out glaciers, ritual combat, and children's toys.
Sparta does kind of laugh at that and says children's toys. Now, that's kind of...
so
yes,
canon.
it's true. Oh, yes, it's true. I had a friend back when I was growing up on Andoria who had one when he was like 7.
Huh.
First rule, do not run at someone holding an Ushan. Or run while holding an Ushan.
Not that the kids ever listened to that. All right, Chief.
No. I have a friend with one eye who learned a very hard lesson when he was 8 about running with Ushans. It was very tragic.
Just imagining, like, all Andorians telling their kids this, and the kids start running around with ice picks and scissors. And anyway.
And then when they inevitably injure themselves, the parents have no sympathy. It's like, well, we told you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So up next is another one of the hollow combatants. This time...
And then when they get older, Andorians just act like all those scars are from military battles.
Of course. That's how things work. Anyway, so up next is another hollow combatant. This time, they are going to spend some threats, so there's going to be 2 combatants running at our lovely Gorn bartender. So we'll resolve the attacks one at a time. So first we'll deal with the character, the hollow combatant to the left. Okay, so Shrika, if you would go ahead and roll me your daring plus security.
Focus set by example apply. I'm setting an example of how to use the batleth to Sverja.
Yeah, that is actually a very good focus, I think.
Yay for pulling shit out of my ass.
All right, so unfortunately, the tie goes to the winner. So let me go ahead and roll challenge die here for. We'll say this is one of the Romulans. So the Romulan runs up and kind of ducks under your batleth as you swing at him, and he kind of jabs very quickly at your abdomen. And were this anything but a holodeck, you would, be stabbed, but you take quote-unquote hollow damage. So you're perfectly fine. The safeties are indeed on. But do kind of keep track of how much stress you take, just in case it becomes relevant. Up next, we have the combatant to the north. He is going to do the exact same thing. We'll say this one is the 8472. Okay, so apparently I'm rolling really well today for them. All right. So again, another daring plus security to see if you fend them off.
Everyone okay with me spending that momentum to get an extra dice?
Yep, I'm okay with that.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Two
dear.
19s.
Wow. Man, Shrika's just not having a good day. All right, so the 8472 thankfully does have less damage, hopefully, but does get an effect. So, Shrika, what happens is the 8472 lumbers at you like an unmovable, or not an unmovable, like an unstoppable force. It slams into you, dealing 2 stress damage, but also knocks you down onto the ground. Just for reference, it is a minor action, I believe, to stand up. So not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it does take away, say, your aim if you were thinking of aiming. So of course we come back around to the players, and if well, I'll ask if none of you want to go rescue Shrika.
Well, has Sparja had a chance to move yet?
That was what I was going to ask, because she moves in the same initiative turn that you guys do. So if Zeb or Tin, if you guys want to go, or Shrika, if you want to go. Otherwise, Svarja will kind of run over and try to help Shrika out.
I've got an idea of what I want to do, but Svarja can help Shrika.
Okay. Why don't we let you go?
Okay, I was just gonna rush the guy north of me. Kind of, my attempt is to barrel him over, and then kind of try to get up this wall up here to get at these sniper guys.
Okay.
What do I roll?
Still daring plus security if you're doing melee.
I guess hand to hand wouldn't, or
Yeah, I'll let it happen. I know we've kind of been all over the place on what hand to hand actually covers, but for this exercise, yeah. So yeah, you actually get 2 momentum from that. So you're up to 2 momentum, and yeah, go ahead and roll some damage and flavor away if you so wish.
How much? That's 3, and then it's vicious. No, 2, and then vicious 1.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you don't quite take down this individual, but still flavor away.
I just kind of put my shoulder into him as I get to him and stagger him a bit. I didn't get to quite knock him down, but he's definitely reeling from my my density.
Okay. I'm just double checking here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but keeping the initiative is 2, yeah?
Correct.
I think so.
Yeah, I found the chart. So if no one has any objections, Svarja would like to keep the initiative and go next.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you're back down to 0 momentum. So Svarja is, of course, going to see Shrika in trouble and is going to kind of charge at the 8472. And let's see how well she does. Let's see. Daring plus security. She does have a dice pool of D20. She does an applicable focus. Ooh, that's a complication there, Svarja. Let's see how well the combatant rolls. Alright, so basically what happens is Svarja kind of runs with her batleth and swings it very clumsily, like she doesn't really have a good feel for the weight of the weapon. And the 8472 kind of knocks it out of her hands and sends it clattering into the fountain. And Svarja just kind of looks down at her now empty hands and goes, okay, that's new. And up next is the hollow combatants again. This time it is going to be this individual here. We'll say it's the Borg. And this Borg is going to charge at Tin. So obviously the Borg has not learned his lesson. So let's see what the Borg rolls. It's 2 hits for the Borg.
Oof. Trying out this macro.
Hey! Actually worked. All right. So I'm assuming you pretty much do the same thing. You just kind of hold out your pick, and they run into it.
Don't run with the Ushan, or run towards the Ushan, or around the Ushan.
Oh, very good. So yeah, the Borg kind of somewhat stabs himself with the weapon, but does seem to be up, no problem. So let's see what we have next. We have Tin and Shrika have not moved yet. So which one of you would like to go next?
I mean, I could go and try to take out one of these two combatants, or you can go and try to take out the Borg.
I think it's 2-on-1 with you, so I think you can go first.
All right.
Tin's the backer guy. He's happy waiting to last.
So get up. So I'm going to get up, and then I'm going to swing at the Romulan, which is this one.
Okay.
And hopefully this doesn't go stupid.
The high-long effect, as I like to call it.
Poor Hylong.
Okay, that's one attack. Oh, the Romulan actually gets...
Yes, I counted it up. We have 20 NPCs.
Oh, Jesus. So yeah, unfortunately, Shreka, as you kind of, again, going with your Batleth, this Romulan is ready for you and fends off your attack and gets in a few jabs of his own. Oh, so this is interesting.
A palpable hit.
Yeah, so again, if this were anything but a holodeck, you would suffer an injury here. Because that is 6 damage because of Vicious 1 on the dagger. So how I want to flavor it, I think, is either the computer just sort of has the combatants ignore you, like even if you were to attack them, like your attacks wouldn't do anything. Unless you wanted to give me threat to ignore the injury. Or spend a determination. I forget if she has a value or not.
Yeah, she has the value.
Give him the threat.
I'll give you a threat because I don't feel like the value can really apply.
Okay. So go ahead and take the 6 stress damage, which I think you're still fine. You haven't ticked over yet. But Svarja just kind of goes, ooh, this is not good. So up next is again the Hollow Combatants, and this time we're going to have an attack from the northern ones with the Disruptor Fire. So let's see how the first one does. Completely misses. So a shot whizzes by Zeb's ear, or whatever the Lurian equivalent of an ear is. And Zeb is unscathed. And finally, we have Senior Chief Tin. It is your go.
Let's see. Senior Chief Tin is going to bear down on that Borg.
Okay.
Nothing resembling a focus.
Hey, that's one success.
When attacks are.
Hey, and you actually are hitting the board. So yeah, go ahead and flavor away.
4 damage.
Almost enough to take him down, but not quite.
So I'm thinking it as he's not so much stabbing again, as just trying to remove the Ushan from the Borg, and is just pulling out wires and struggling, and it's just a mess.
All right. Finally, I believe we come around to the last Hollow Combatant to act. That would be this guy up here. He too is going to fire at our lovely Lurian friend. And, ooh, will actually hit you. So this could go good, this could go bad. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, that's a thing. So same thing here. Zeb, you will be taking, I think that's 8 because of Vicious 1. Jesus, yeah, that's 8 damage. Would you care to spend determination or give me threat to ignore the injury?
I don't have any values to use determination. I'll give you threat.
Okay. So you get shot pretty much center mass. And again, if this were anything but a holodeck, you would have a very nasty disruptor burn, probably very severe. But since this is the holodeck, you just kind of get a kind of an ashen pattern across your chest. And Svarja kind of looks around and says, "Is this normal? Is this level 1?
What stress am I at then?
To be fair, we did include Borg and 8472 in the program, and even their level 1s are quite nasty.
You were saying, though, Zeb?
What stress am I at with giving you threat?
You're still at 8 stress taken. You just ignore the injury. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you've got more than 8 stress total, so you're fine. So up next is technically a new round of combat, so the Holo combatants get to go first. This time it is going to be the Borg, once again kind of attacking Tin with one of its manipulator arms with the kind of claw rotating thing at the end. And yeah, that's 2 successes for the Borg.
Come on, 10. Oh, no.
All right, so let's see how much damage the Borg does here. Luckily, it's a very glancing blow. It just kind of like thunks your head, but it's not a very hard blow. You feel fine. So up next is the players and/or Svarja. So which one of you would like to go?
Well, I think Quakenbush will come in. He'll sort of charge in. Yeah, Quakenbush will sort of charge in on this Holo combatant here to help free up Shrieker a little.
Okay.
Yep, so he'll come in there. There's a minor action.
Okay.
And he's going to come in with a right hook.
Okay.
Just try and deck the thing.
All right. Same daring plus security opposed.
Yep.
Survey says you need to beat 1.
Yep. And he has the talent Mean Right Hook, so his unarmed strike has Vicious 1.
Very nice.
Alrighty, daring plus security. With a focus for hand-to-hand combat.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Ooh, nice.
Wow. All right, you guys are up to 3 momentum. By the way, who's keeping track of momentum this game?
I am not sure. I think we were at 0 before that.
Yeah, I know you're at 3 now. I just didn't see anyone take tokens, so I wasn't sure if anyone was tracking it.
All right.
Hey, Maddox got
there we
it.
go.
Thanks.
All right.
So yeah, Quakenbush, as you punch the crap out of this Romulan, please flavor away as you roll damage.
Yep. Basically, he comes charging in, and as he comes in, he goes, "On your right, sir!" And as the Romulan sort of turns to look at the noise, the fist just connects with the side of his jaw.
Very nice. Let's see some effects.
Let me go see challenge dice. So that'll be 6 altogether, 1 plus 5.
Mm-hmm. Come on, effects. We want to see effects. Jeez. So how I imagine this happening is as you blast this guy in the face with your fist, the Romulan not only goes down, but he gets
that's a total of 10.
Yeah, that's insane. He not only is lifted.
Also,
off...
he has to spend a minimum of 5 threat in order to not get knocked prone.
Oh no, he's going down. The Romulan is lifted up into the air and kind of spirals through the air, landing about here, and he is down. If this were real combat, you might have just broken this guy's neck. That's how bad of a hit that was.
I'll bet they didn't teach you that in the Tal Shiar.
Oh boy. All right. Up next, we're going to have the Jeb's melee combatant go against him. And yeah, Jeb, this is a prime opportunity for a counterattack.
Zeb.
Or Zeb, sorry.
Yeah, I'd like the blast I took at the chest kind of knocked me back a bit, but that helped me dodge this guy's incoming hit, and I will I'll use this backwards momentum to slash down at this guy's leg.
Okay. Yeah, you get a momentum. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and all right. Ooh, you want to know how much stress he had left? He had
Exactly
4.
that?
He had 4. All he needed was 1 more damage.
Can I use a momentum to add something to that?
Yeah, did I? I think I gave you guys a handout for combat momentum spends. Yeah. You can spend 1 momentum to do 1 damage.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay. So yeah, as you hit this guy in the leg, no, it's just 1 flat damage, not another challenge die.
Okay.
But no, you slash down with the leg and you open up what looks to be a very gory kind of gash in this this Orion's leg, but because he's a hollow combatant, he just kind of falls over, quote unquote, dead. So yeah, up next is you guys again. Tin, Svarja, Zeb, Shrika. Whoever would
Tin
like
would
to
like
go. Tin, all right.
Yeah. Continue to struggle to get his Ushan out of the Borg's torso. This is exhilarating. I've never felt so alive.
Oh dear. All right, so the Borg is actually going to get a counterattack on you. Survey
He
says.
really does sound the most excited I've ever heard him.
I'm sure beats the hell out of Penex, girls.
Is it ambitious on its thing?
It does. So that'll be 3 damage. And how I want to flavor this is as you're getting your Ushan out, you kind of are in an angle where it's awkward for the Borg to hit you with its arms, so it actually goes for like a headbutt. Which is slightly odd for a Borg, but you get the sense that this holo program is mostly to provide a challenge and isn't 100% exactly how the species might act. But you're a hardy Andorian. You take it in stride.
Oh, and that would actually be terrifying as a Borg drone that just has the martial abilities of 17 different species downloaded into its memory.
I mean,
this is what happens when the Borg assimilate, and I'm from Scotland.
Oh dear. All right. Let's see which holo combatant goes next. We'll say the one that is hurting on Shrika. So instead of going for Shrika, it is the 8472 is instead going to go for Svarja because she's currently unarmed. So let's see how it rolls. That's a 2. Svarja. Would any of you mind if Svarja took a momentum?
That's fine.
Nope.
Okay. So you're down to 2 momentum. All right. 3 vocal focus. Hey, would you look at that? So you get the momentum back. Very nice. So let's see. Where is her unarmed? Okay. So she's going to be rolling a grand total of 6 challenge die. Very nice. So what happens is the 8472 kind of, I guess you would call it flailing in an attempt to knock Svarja down. Svarja kind of ducks underneath each of the arms, and then right as the 8472 is about to hit her, she kind of lunges upward with a mean right hook and kind of slams her fist into the underside of the 8472's head and causes the alien to kind of reel backwards in shock. And since 5 is the magic number, it is also rendered unconscious. So next up we have Zeb.
Excellent form there.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is, as you said, this is quite exhilarating. More than I'd hoped for. And yeah, next up is Zeb or Shrika or Svarja.
Oh, does anyone actually have ranged weaponry?
Quakenbush has it.
Quakenbush.
He's already moved, so...
Shrika will go.
Okay.
She's gonna charge over here
Okay.
and hit the Borg while he's distracted by Tin.
Okay. I'll give you an additional challenge die if you hit, because he is distracted.
Yeah, that's the magic word. If
You do, in fact, hit him.
oh my god.
All right. That is enough to take down the Borg, so go ahead and flavor away.
So Shrika sees the Borg headbutt Tin. As Tin kind of leans back from the hit, right over his face, she swings the batleth, catches the Borg just across the face, and slices in half.
Very nice. So as pieces of the Borg kind of clatter to the ground, Svarja goes, "Very nice over there, you two." And it's at that moment that the entire holodeck goes pitch dark. And hopefully I'm doing this right, but if I have it properly, all of you should now be in the darkness.
No, I say.
Computer, lights.
Nothing happens.
Computer, arch.
Nothing happens.
Damn it, Ken! It looks like you're going to be repairing one of these again.
I swear I just fixed this one. It was working 5 minutes ago.
Would I have a comm badge?
I think everybody would have a comm badge at this point, yes.
Okay. I'll tap mine. Shrika to the duck. Anyone copy?
There is a... How do I want to flavor this? There is a kind of garbled kind of reception. So your message may or may not have gotten through, but no one's answering. You just kind of hear static.
Curious. Quakenbush taps his. Quakenbush to engineering.
Same thing. You just get static.
I run my hand along the floor. Does it still feel like the Ryzen landscape?
No, it has reverted to the normal holodeck.
No sign of Borg at my feet?
Nope.
Are we still armed?
No, unless you had a weapon previously coming into the holodeck.
Which I don't think any of us did.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Quakenbush will start feeling his way along the wall to find the door.
Okay.
I believe we are suffering a power outage. We are in a sealed room. This is most concerning.
And
This is Connect's fault somehow.
and we'll put you on this map. Just use theater of mind that it's pitch dark. So yeah.
Given the size of the room and the size of us, I imagine we have 10 minutes of oxygen before we all start begin to suffocate.
You do realize these holodecks are air-conditioned, yes?
The lack of power suggests the environmental controls might also be out.
That is a fair point. Which makes finding this door all the more important.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a pocket full of sunshine, aren't you?
It's the adrenaline speaking.
Small thing before I forget, because this is a new scene. You'll lose one momentum, but you do all reset your stress. And then, so I'm assuming all of you are looking for the door, so I'm not going to have you roll for it, but how do I want to handle this? You know what, you could use one of them. Let's have you roll for it anyway. Whoever would like to be the quote-unquote primary searcher can roll a, we'll call it an insight plus security, because that seems to be the most relevant thing you're trying to get a hold of your position, or maybe an insight plus con. Of course, I'll entertain other combinations. The difficulty here would only be a 0. So free momentum.
I'd like to be able to use sound to try to determine where everyone else is by their movements and stuff and their talking. So I can head towards them.
Sure. So who would like to do the roll, though, is the question.
Well, Quakenbush is the one looking for the door, so he probably will.
Okay.
Insight plus...
Either security or con, because I think those are probably the most applicable here.
Sparta, does your species have any light-emitting glands? Ability to generate bioluminescence?
You know, I honestly had forgotten about it. So, Quakenbush, as you find the arch, Svarja does tap something on her suit, and you guys would see a glyph illuminate, and then her suit, or at least the white portions of it, or not the white portions, the if you remember, her suit kind of has those like purple gems inlaid every so often.
Yep.
They begin to illuminate and cast a purplish light over the area. So you all can now kind of see. But Quakenbush, you have found the arch.
Alrighty, and he's going to start attempting to either reboot it or do a manual override on the door.
Okay. If I have this right, again, you can always argue a different combination. This would be a control plus engineering if you're trying to work the systems, or a fitness engineering, or a fitness plus security to force the door open with brute strength.
Oh, he'll start with the control engineering and then move on to the fitness.
Okay. This would be a difficulty 2. All right.
Oh, look at that.
Let's see. I think you guys are at 5 momentum at the moment. Yeah, I think you're at 5. So, Quakenbush, you do pretty much everything that comes to mind based on your engineering skills, and you don't really get the system to illuminate. Like, the power is most definitely out. However, as you are working this, you do get a garbled message that comes through your comm badge. And everyone would hear it. And it is the voice of Captain Skull. And Skull says, Skull, Dominion, ordering parties, not drill. And then the line goes quiet.
All of that isn't incredibly concerning. And Quakenbush will actually just start trying to force the door open physically.
Okay. Since you're at 5 momentum, I'll just say you're more than able to get the door open with you know what, you've got a security of 5, you can get it open, no problem.
Yep.
And as you open the doors and kind of look out, you see that the emergency lights, the red emergency lights of the corridor, are flickering. So emergency power seems to be on, but only just.
All right, no time to waste. To the armory.
I'm right behind him, running back, and I turn my head back to Chief. Are you heading to engineering?
Seems like the best place to go.
Well, let us know what's going on there.
Shrika wants to look at Svarja and see if any of this seems surprising to her. What I mean is, like, the program that she's running, I'm assuming she read it, like that Svarja read it. I want to see if she knew that part of this program would be, oh, all of a sudden you're being boarded by the nearest enemy, you know?
I gotcha. No, she seems to be as lost as the rest of you. But before Tin can kind of run off on his own, Svarja will kind of speak up and say, maybe it's best if we move as a group rather than you all running off on your own.
That is a good idea. Perhaps we should head to the nearest armory. If this is a hostile invasion, we might need real phasers.
And she does kind of look at Zeb and Quakenbush and says, go ahead, lead the way.
So the power's out on this deck we're on?
Mm-hmm.
There's no, like, panels that are active?
No. The only source of illumination is Svarja and or the flickering light.
All right, now, a point of order. Is there an armory on this level?
There is indeed. It is towards the fore of the ship, or the bow. And if you wanted to get there, there's several ways to do so. How do I want to say this? You could take the corridors. You could take the Jeffries tubes. I think that's actually all that you have because, the power's out. But
I don't think we really have reason to go through the Jeffries tubes until something in the corridor presents
Yep, so
a problem.
through the corridors, straight path to the armory.
Okay. Out of curiosity, what is the marching order?
I'll go first, followed by Tin.
Quakenbush.
Then, or you don't want to take up the rear?
Okay.
All right.
So it's Zeb, Tin, Shrika, Svarja, then Quakenbush?
Sounds good.
Okay. Just, there we go. All right. And I will put you guys on this map preemptively because I want to make sure the lighting's working. It does appear to be, yes. Excellent. So, as you all are moving through the corridors, I would like everyone to roll me a control plus security. And this is to represent moving stealthily. Of course, if you're not moving stealthily, you need not roll this.
I've got the infiltration.
Luckily for me, I have a focus in infiltration.
thing.
Set by example still apply?
Yes, it would.
Oh, fuck.
All right, well, good news, you're maxed on momentum. Bad news, those are some complications. And the complications that are going to happen is as you are kind of... Oh, go ahead.
Is it we have to spend momentum or we have to spend a point of determination to ignore a complication?
I believe it is 2 momentum to ignore the complication.
Yeah, what was the difficulty of this?
It was a difficulty 2.
2. So we would have generated 3 extra. Well, we would have generated 2 extra momentum. So we could spend 2 momentum and ignore these 2 complications if y'all wanted.
I think it's 2 per complication. So we
yeah,
total
so
4.
So Zeb would have succeeded with 2, and then his extra 2 would be bonus, and then we would spend an additional 2 to get rid of mine and to get rid of my complication if we put Zeb's 2 towards 10's complication.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you guys are down with that.
Yep, sounds good to me.
I'm just picturing what Tin's complication would be.
Oh, I had ideas. And I still have ideas.
So I can't see where the tokens went, and so if you don't
I got
mind them, okay.
Yeah, I got them. So yeah, you seem to be making good progress through the corridors. You don't run into anybody. Most of the doors you try along the way are sealed shut. Probably because either a security lockout has been put in place or individuals inside have locked the door. Or maybe there's just not power. You don't really know. But eventually you arrive at this sort of junction. And I'll move you guys up a little bit. And I'll move Svarge a little bit since she is your light source. Zeb, you would know that the armory would be to the south.
Now I'll head south.
Okay.
Looking to get to it.
Likewise.
I'm still. Shrika is still looking around, trying to see if this is part of the holodeck. Like, it's like that. It isn't actually like a boarding. She's looking for something to tell her that this is real or this is still the holodeck.
The quickest and easiest way to test that would be to take your comm badge and throw it.
Okay, I take my comm badge and throw it at the wall.
All right. It clatters against the wall like a real wall. Were this a holodeck, it would have kind of collided with the holodeck's walls itself.
All right, so
this
everything
little
checks
spot
out.
limited.
So the armory, I think you can see the bare minimum. Let me see if this ping will show up. No, it does not appear to be showing up. How about here?
I saw it.
Yeah, where Zeb is where the armory door is, and
Right.
it is at the moment closed. So
I'm
you
gonna
would
look for
need.
the manual override.
You can indeed. Your 4 momentum, so I'll just give it to you. You're very easily able to find the manual override, and in the process, you would be able to activate the armory's independent power supply if you so wished.
Sure.
Okay. So the door does open, and I'm going to do another trick of illumination here. Hopefully it works out. And let me get rid of the door. You should now have access to the armory.
Yep.
The first thing Zeb does is he grabs a Type 2 phaser and tucks it into his holster, and then he starts passing out those handheld flashlights, they kind of sit on the back of your palm on the show.
Okay.
Quakenbush goes for the Type 3.
Okay. That would be a escalation, so I would be getting some threat. At least I'm pretty sure
Well,
I'll double check.
Yes, you heard the message. Dominions on board. Type 3 rifles are called for.
As a civilian, what am I allowed to use?
Whatever anybody wants to hand you.
I'll hand him a Type 2.
Okay.
Here's a Type 1 and a flashlight. And a bottle opener.
How do I want to handle this? Someone roll me a D100. And this will
Alrighty.
represent if this is the locker Shatsu is keeping certain weapons in. 47.
If I pick up the Type 3, does that give you another threat?
I think it's just blanket. I get it's escalation 2.
Yes, once they come into play.
Yeah.
I think I'll pick up one and keep a Type 2 in my holster.
Okay. It is also an opportunity 1, so you would also have to spend 1 from your pool of momentum.
Yep, I will do that.
But yeah, a 47 does indeed mean that this is we'll say the main armory, and that means that along with all sorts of ceremonial and otherwise daggers and bat'leths, etc., this is where the Fryqua rifles are being stored. So Svarja does kind of go over
How do you spend a point of momentum? I can't seem to remove it from my hand.
Click on it on the thing. Just click and drag it into like the middle of the hallway, like here, and then you should be able to delete it.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, I got you.
I was trying to drag it directly onto the momentum pool.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, but
You said there are bat'leths in here?
there are bat'leths, there are other swords, there are daggers, but there also are the 2 Fryqua. I believe they are Type 8s. Yes, the Type 8 rifles.
Let's not shoot those near the outer halls.
Yeah. Svarja just kind of looked to the security officers and says, should I take my rifle, or...
I'll shrug, and then I'll just kind of lean over and enter in my security override code.
Okay. So she will then
The
take...
captain is to be believed. We are under enemy attack.
So Svarja does nod and does take her rifle. activates it with a low hum and kind of looks over and says, "All right, I've adjusted it so it hopefully won't puncture all the way out through the hull."
Watch
to
the
know.
fire.
Yes.
And in the meantime, Quakenbush will sort of step out back into the corridor to keep watch.
Okay. And Quakenbush, as you do step into the corridor, I would like you to roll me something plus security. Maybe another insight plus security to kind of listen in. Kind of a blanket perception check. All right. The difficulty was a 2. So you do in fact pass. From the northwest, over here, kind of towards this corridor, over here to the west, you do hear what sounds like 2 Jem'Hadar warriors coming your way, and by that I mean you would hear them talking to one another, and one of them says, "Are you sure the armory's this way?" And the other one says, "Of course, the first is never wrong."
And Quakenbush will sort of wave his hand back through the doorway and sort of like give whatever the standard Starfleet hand signals are for enemy combatants en route.
Hide.
Zeb picks it up and then he gets into position at the door.
Okay.
Shrika gets on the other side and holds a batleth up, ready to swing as soon as they walk up.
Okay.
Yeah, and Quakenbush is over there ready to let loose as soon as the door opens.
Okay. As the warriors do kind of come around the bend, would you have left the door open or would you have let it close?
I'd say we'd have let it close so that they don't see us as they're walking up.
Okay. So this Jem'Hadar warrior does step in front of the door and it opens, and yeah, you guys get a surprise attack as he kind of opens the door.
All right. So I
Alrighty.
guess I'll go first to try to like. Okay, so bearing security, set an example. Y'all mind if I spend a momentum to get extra dice?
Yep, sure.
Come on, dice.
Hey, look at that. I'm going to say that since this is a surprise round, he doesn't get to roll. So you would get that momentum right back, actually.
No.
And then Quakenbush will open up. He'll use an aim minor action and then attack with the phase 2, the type 3 rifle.
Okay. Before you do that, though, let's see the damage on Shrika's attack, because it could very well incapacitate the warrior.
Forgot about that.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, that is more than enough to deal with the warrior. So, yeah, flavor away as you cut down this warrior.
So as soon as the door opens, Shrika takes the batleth, shoves it through his stomach, and just runs him straight through, and then runs him up against the wall over here.
Okay.
It kind
There's
of
so much
has
more
him
blood on the
has
holodeck.
has him like up, like she's holding the batleth up with him pierced on it.
Okay. Now what you've described, I would say, is a lethal attack. Would you have been attacking lethally?
Sure.
Well, the reason I ask is because if you do attack lethal, I do get threat, so that's why I ask.
Well, we gotta make this fun, don't we? No fun if you don't have threat.
All right, you heard the man. So yeah, you do in fact down this warrior, but as you can see to your north, he's got a buddy, and we are going to kick into actual initiative order now. So let's see if I can get everybody into the turn order. All right, there's the warrior. There's you three. There's Shrika, and then Tin, poor Tin in the corner. All right. So up first, it's any one of your guys' go. So Shrika, you could conceivably go again.
Well, if you're okay with Quakenbush sort of dashing in ahead of you there.
Yeah, like if as I'm shoving him out, Quakenbush hops out the door and shoots.
Yep, Quakenbush comes out behind Shrieker, and so minor action to move out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll spend a momentum to take a minor action to aim.
Okay.
And then regular attack with the phaser rifle at the other Jem'Hadar.
All right, that would be a daring plus secure, or not a daring, a control plus security. Difficulty is a 2.
None of us are actual security officers, right?
Me and yeah.
Okay. So during this time, we haven't received anything more than Skull saying that we have boarding parties?
At the moment, yes.
Alrighty, and I'm going to use the accurate quality on the rifle to re-roll that failed D20.
Okay.
The hand phaser focus is just for the phaser type 1 and 2s, right?
I'm gonna say it's any kind of phaser, because it is technically a hand phaser. So yeah, if you're using the rifle, it would apply.
Yeah.
But a 10, that is a success.
Yep. All right, let me check the damage on that. I think it's a 4.
It is, yes, 4 plus your security, so a grand total of 9 challenge die.
Yep. Ooh, this has the potential to get beefy.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Or I could roll incredibly badly.
Momentum, just re-roll all those zeros.
I thought it was determination to do that, or is that only with D20s?
No, you can spend 1 point of momentum to re-roll any number of challenge die that you wish.
Oh, I will definitely do that then. Alrighty, 6 challenge dice. All the zeros.
Wow.
Oh my god. At least you got to 6 damage now.
Yeah, you would be up to 6. Would you like to spend another momentum to get rid of those other 4 zeros? Or actually, no, I don't think it's repeatable, is it?
I don't think so. Or if it is, I'd imagine it'd
It is not repeatable.
Yeah, it's not repeatable. All right, so you would be doing 6 damage. Not enough to knock down the warrior. So
Jem'Hadar are tough.
Yeah. Where would you be aiming at a curiosity?
Just torso shot.
Okay. So the warrior takes it in stride. He kind of looks down and gives a and then he levels his plasma rifle at Quakenbush.
Oh, this is gonna sting.
Yep. So I have to switch my bar. There we go. Jem'Hadar rolls. Luckily for you, completely misses with his plasma rifle. So the bolt kind of scorches the doorway and knocks out the door mechanism. So the door is now perpetually kept open until somebody fixes it. Up next, though, is any one of you. So Svarja, Zeb, Shrika, Tin.
I'd like to get to the door and then kind of lean around and around the corner of the door and shoot at the Jem'Hadar.
Okay, yeah, you certainly can.
Yeah, Quakenbush will sort of lean out of the way.
It's control plus security. So what's your control?
9.
Yeah, so even then, yeah, it still would be a miss. Good news, though. Even though you missed, the Jem'Hadar doesn't get to go again. This has already been his round of combat. So Shrika, Tin, or Svarja can go right ahead.
Shrieka's in a better position.
Yeah. Shrika's just going to charge up.
Okay.
Daring security. To this. Oh, bloody hell.
So this is a thing.
Bloody being the
New
operative word.
bartender.
Oh, fuck.
Good news is the Jem'Hadar does not hit you in retaliation. But the complication... Ooh, what complication do I want to give you?
Or you could just take some threat.
No, I'm going to do a complication.
Or you could just take some threat.
The Jem'Hadar warrior, using the butt of his plasma rifle, is going to knock the bat'leth out of your hands and clattering to the floor behind him. So you are momentarily disarmed.
Quick question about being Gorn.
Uh-huh.
Is that a talent that my unarmed does vicious, or that I get extra unarmed because I have like claws or whatever, or is that a
I
Gorn
believe it's a
thing?
talent.
I think I set it up as a talent in my Gorn write-up.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Jesters has it as a talent.
Okay.
But yeah, up next is either Sfarja or Tin.
Can Tin get past the doorway, or is it completely blocked?
I would say that allies will always move out of the way unless they want to be dicks.
Are you guys gonna be dicks?
Of course not.
Maybe. I don't...
Tin's gonna try to force his way here and try to shoot the Jem'Hadar as best he can.
Okay.
That
This
is
small little take one phaser.
He's trying to get out of your way.
Get down. I would feel horrible if I hurt one of you. Nope.
Still not enough.
I'm trying too hard to avoid hitting Shreka.
Yeah. So finally we come around to Sfarja, and Sfarja, I think Zeb would see this out of the corner of his eye. Sfarja does tap something on her arm, and you see that across her eyes comes this sort of holographic display, almost like a holo visor, almost like Geordi's visor. Actually, I think there's something in Star Trek Online where there's like a visor of some sort. Anyway, so one comes up, and like she's aiming through a wall, she points her rifle towards the Jem'Hadar, and then fires. So let's see how she does. Would be control plus security, difficulty 2. Does have an applicable focus. Oh, that's a complication there.
Well, she is firing through what looks like a weapon rack.
Yes. I'm going to say the complication is, as she fires, she realizes all too late that she didn't re-up the penetration. So the projectile just kind of embeds itself into the wall with a large, as the rifle barks, it just embeds into the wall, and Sfarja just goes, shit. And
I know you've been nice for a bit, but that's not what Jem'Hadar look like.
She's never seen a Jem'Hadar, so she doesn't know. Anyway, I believe that's everyone. So up next is going to be the warrior again. Since Shrika is quite literally right there, he is going to kind of sling his plasma rifle, pull out a blade, and attempt to gore Shrika. Yeah, you gotta get 3 successes here, Shrika, or you're getting hit by this blade.
Last momentum for an extra dice. Everyone cool with that?
Yep. Let's keep everyone alive.
I'm gonna need a drink after this, so.
Oh yeah, we're gonna take a break after this combat resolves itself.
No, I mean like that's why we keep him alive.
Must keep bartending.
I am loving this definition of a Glasgow kiss.
I can't roll today. I don't know why. Let me restart roll 20 real quick.
I don't think it
That
helps.
works, right?
I don't think it helps, unfortunately. All right, so let's see how much damage the Jem'Hadar warrior will do. Good news, only does 3 stress damage. Only 3. I would say that Shrika, you are at least a skilled enough hand-to-hand combat that you're able to avoid the worst of the blow. But, you do kind of get cut across, we'll say, your right arm in the process. And yeah, next up is literally any of you.
All right, Quakenbush will take aim with the rifle and fire again.
Okay. Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll your damage. Wow.
That's a bit better.
Would you be attacking lethally or non-lethally?
I mean, probably lethally. I mean, these are Jem'Hadar. They don't go down easily.
Okay, just making sure before I give myself threat or describe something wrong. Where would you be hitting this warrior, out of curiosity? Center mass again?
Yep, center mass. He's a very by-the-book sort of soldier that way.
Okay. So as your phaser rifle impacts the Jem'Hadar, there's a moment where he looks down and begins to laugh, but so great is the shot that he disintegrates on the spot. There is nothing left of this Jem'Hadar warrior. And for the moment, you guys are out of combat.
Okay, I don't want to fucking metagame this. Can I roll something to see if my character would know something about the Jem'Hadar that I know out of game?
I'm assuming you're referring to the Shroud. The cloaking technology.
No, I'm referring to something that happened during DS9.
Well, it depends what that thing is.
Whenever the Jem'Hadar walk through force fields and were immune to stun. Or low-level stun, I think.
Well, that's part of why I asked if it was lethal. If it is set to kill, they don't resist that. I think you would just know, and I think you and the security officers would know, that the Jem'Hadar mechanically have some resistance.
Basically, if you're shooting them on stun, you're going to be shooting them for a while.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you guys are out of combat, and before we deal with the aftermath and you guys trying to figure out what the hell's going on, I think this is a good spot to take our 5 to 10 minute break. So be back in 5-10 minutes, guys.
See you in a bit.
So, a small message to anyone watching this on Twitch or anyone watching the recording. As always, I love hearing from you fans, and would like to, again, kind of mention that we do have a Discord server if anyone's interested. Also, as much as I hate shilling, I would love if you guys followed me on both YouTube and or Twitch. It's probably more Twitch because I am nearing that magical 50 number, but if we get there, we get there. If not, not a big deal. But yeah, that's kind of the secret message I have to those of you watching the stream. But let me unmute myself for everybody else. And I'm back. I think literally everyone is AFK. Welcome back.
Hello. Anyone else back yet?
No, just me, I think.
Me, but I'm eating some food, so I'm muting.
Ah. All right. So whenever Matic gets back.
My son's upstairs super happy because there's more series of unfortunate events on Netflix.
Ah.
I'm sure he's going to binge through the entire season in like 2 days. And I'm a horrible father because I'm just going to let him.
I mean, you know, that's what you do with Netflix. You find a new series and you binge watch it.
It's screen time? What's screen time? He can just watch whatever he wants. No. But in like a year... Sorry, go.
No, I was just going to say, I still need to watch the Punisher series. I keep meaning to do it, but I figure it's one of those Marvel things where I'm not going to be able to like stop halfway through.
About halfway through, and it's pretty good so far. I don't know. I'm one of those weird guys who's still used to the watching weekly shows. So even if it's a bingeable Netflix show, I'll watch like one episode every like week or 4 days. Make it last, savor it.
And you definitely avoid the problem of burnout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I got about halfway through season 1 of Jessica Jones, and then I haven't yet got back to it.
Well, to be fair, Jessica Jones is a very kind of heavy show, so...
Oh, definitely.
I do like Tenet in it, though. Tenet as the villain is freaking amazing.
Oh, yes. Like, Kilgrave is an absolutely chilling villain.
And Tenet's always watchable.
He does play a really good villain. Like, he also played Barty Crouch Jr. in Harry Potter, and he was really creepy in that, too.
That's a good thing. No, go ahead.
There's a really obscure British show called Taking Over the Asylum that stars him, co-stars him. It's like a six episodes and done. And it came out like, 5 years before he became the Doctor. So I remember seeing that, and then I found out he was going to be the Doctor. I'm like, oh god, he'd be so perfect for that. I'm very happy with that.
Tenet is low-key my... I like Tenet. He is the best Doctor. I don't care what anybody says. He is the best.
It's a solid choice.
Good, but I enjoyed Eccleston's intensity.
That's a fair point. All right.
I think Eccleston was definitely the Doctor you needed to start the series up again, because they really needed to sort of hit the ground running strong in that first season, especially because it was a bit janky with the special effects and everything. So you needed a strong, compelling Doctor.
He had like a joyful solemnness that was very reminiscent of the fourth one, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
you definitely got the feeling of a jaded cynic who wanted to be an optimist.
Hey, there's Matic.
Like, especially that one line in the
I mean-
one with the gas mask child about just this once everybody lives, and he's so ecstatic.
Yeah, especially if you're old school Whovian. Even like without the happy episodes, there's a high death count.
Mm-hmm. All right, so before we geek out too much about Doctor Who, let's bring it back in. We literally are right where we left off. You have just finished dealing with the Jem'Hadar warriors. You have the corpse of one, and I guess whatever would be left of a disintegrated Jem'Hadar as well.
I'm gonna pick up my batleth, and I'm also gonna pick up the plasma rifle.
Okay.
All right, first things first, we need to try and regroup with any of the other crew members. I say we head for engineering.
If we head to the bridge, we might have a better chance of taking over the ship.
That's a fair
What
point.
about the battle bridge on this? Okay, so the ship in multi-vector mode.
Mm-hmm.
Are we better to go to the bridge? Are we better to go to the battle bridge for like the middle section or like the back section?
Actually, the multi-vector assault mode never saw use in the Dominion War. There's a high probability the Jem'Hadar did not know of that particular feature. They may only have taken over the bridge. They may be unaware of the existence of the two other battle bridges. If we get to the nearest secondary bridge of beta section, we might be able to move the control of the ship to that sector and isolate the rest of the ship. And then,
At the very least, we might be able to get a better picture of what's going on.
So actually, yeah, that brings up a good point. Svarja does kind of call out, there's a console in here active, if any of you are savvy about that sort of thing.
Let me take a look.
All right.
I'm gonna take a position outside the room.
Okay.
Yeah, whoever's up. So Shrika's gonna stand about there
Mm-hmm.
and watch this direction.
Okay.
And so I guess the other person can take watch and watch the other direction if they choose to.
Okay. Would Tin or Quakenbush be the one to go for the console?
Probably just whoever got there first.
Let's do Tin. Tin, you're the first to get there. Tin, you see that there is a security lockout, but that there's also a message attached to it.
Okay, pull up the message.
All right. So the message is from Shatsu, and the message is very brief. It says, Dominion ambush, EMP, all security officers to regroup and prepare for an assault on main engineering to retake. The security lockout, as far as you're able to determine, Tin, affects the battle bridges, the main bridge, main engineering, and actually it affects all engineering. So all sections engineerings, all sections bridges, and all of the armories, save for this one, are all under a command lockout so that the Jem'Hadar cannot use them.
Right. Does it give a location to regroup at?
It does not, which seems like an oversight.
If they were compromised quickly, they might not have had time. What systems do we have access to?
You have access from here. You have access to, obviously, full control of the armory, so life support, lights, force fields in the armory, things of that nature. But outside of that, you can maybe try to pull up some form of sensor reading, but it would be a task to do so.
It might give us an idea of where to head.
If Zeb has heard any of this, he's going to chime in and say, at the very least, she'll let us know where to avoid.
I have access to.
Well, that will be tricky. I mean, the Jem'Hadar shrouds do make it very tricky for them to show up on sensors.
I do have
Yes,
access.
you're familiar with that, correct, Svasha? Jem'Hadar have cloaking devices.
I remember reading something about that, yes.
Yes, yeah. Keep your head on a swivel and keep your eyes open.
All right.
I do have access to force field controls in this room. We can seal the door after we leave.
Yep. So set up a high-level force field to block it off as we go out.
Does the Jem'Hadar have some sort of, like, radio, quote-unquote, on him?
You know, I don't think we ever see them use one in the show, but I would imagine he would have something on him.
I'll just kind of... Can we communicate with each other, or is it just, like, yell over into the room?
It's mostly yelling because your comm badges aren't working.
Okay. Shrika's gonna yell out, hey, Quaken, the Jem'Hadar who I just killed. Do you think you could tie in his communications to the sensors to see if that could help us in seeing any of the shrouded ones?
I mean, it's worth a shot, but, Dominion technology was never easy to hack. All right, so he will sort of take the comm link and see if he can't, like, get a fix on the signal or something.
Okay. How do I want to do this? I'm going to make this a difficulty 4 task. However, since Tin is with you, Tin can assist. The main role would be you can assist Tin, whichever way you want to do this. The main role would be, how about a daring plus engineering? Because it is kind of unknown technology. Or daring plus security. Of course, if you have a different argument, I'd love to hear it.
Nope, daring plus security is actually the best possible role for me.
Okay.
I will assist.
Okay.
Does that give me an extra dice, or...?
I roll a die.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, and I have jury rigging as a focus.
Nope.
All right, no assist from Tin. Only 2 successes from Quakenbush. Yeah, the roll's been made, so you can't spend determination. So yeah, I mean, you pick up the comm link and you try to get it to interface with the console that's working, and it's just not happening. Either the communication relay was, too badly damaged by Shrika's attack, or it just simply is beyond your level of engineering.
It looks like they've updated their protocols since the Dominion War.
So, Lieutenant Zeb, you are the ranking officer here. Where should we go?
Oh, good grief, he is too.
I guess we should head to. I think the bridge is one of the secondary bridges is the best bet, because the Jem'Hadar aren't going to know about them, and we have the possibility of rerouting control to that.
Well, bear in mind everything's under a command lockout.
You can get past lockouts. I mean, we've got an engineer with us, a couple security guys, and a bartender. We can do it.
Like that optimism. All right. Before you start to head that way, though, would Tin or Quakenbush care to do anything with the console further? Any scans or things of that nature?
Tin is going to rig it up so that like 30 seconds after he hits the console, the force field will block the door, so so the Jem'Hadar can't just get in.
Okay.
Yeah, level high force field.
Whatever the armory put out.
Strength lots.
Easy enough to do. Anything else?
Anything else, Lieutenant?
Nope, just get your asses in gear. Let's go.
Eat. 15 seconds.
All right. So you all kind of move outside, and sure enough, after the aforementioned time elapses, a force field springs up on the door. And yeah, I'm assuming you guys are at this point going to start heading towards Beta Section's bridge.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. Give me one moment to check a map here. All right. So again, you kind of have some options here. You could take the main corridors. You could take the Jeffries tubes. Or you could try, unlocking the command lockout from where you were. All up to you.
I don't know. Do you want to try that, Tin? I mean, we actually have access to that console. We don't know if we're going to have access to consoles farther in.
Too late now.
Yeah.
I'll say if you
locked
wanted to
ourselves
do it
out.
retroactively, I'll let it happen.
We can move forward if it's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could also head to a transporter room. If we can get access to the transporters, we can beam either people to us or beam directly to one of the bridges and thereby bypass Jem'Hadar anywhere.
Well, Zeb, you are the ranking officer. What's the call?
Yeah, let's head to the nearest transporter room, see if we can get access. If we can't get access, then we're going to have to hoof it to the battle bridge.
Okay. So once again, I do need you all to roll me some control plus security at difficulty 2. Again, assuming you're being stealthy anyway. And you are moving through the main corridors, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd imagine. I mean, unless we want to go full Jeffries tubes.
Jem'Hadar is smart enough to pin down the Jeffries tubes.
Yeah, I don't want to get caught in one when they inevitably surprise us,
All right. It looks like everyone succeeded except Shrika. But since you got that momentum from Zeb, I'm going to say that on a whole, this is a success. So let me now put you on this map. So as you trudge through the hallways very carefully and stealthily, you eventually come to another sort of another junction that sits between you and the holodeck. You only need crossover literally to the other side of the room to this door over yonder to the west.
Somewhere in the dark.
Yes, somewhere in the dark.
So
I
it's a
guess you
quick
all have
push.
flashlights, so let me change your lighting here. Let's see, 30. Yes.
That makes a difference.
30.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there we go. All right, everyone should be able to see now.
Will rather belatedly say that I was going to be sort of covering everyone as they moved over, but
All right, so yeah, this is the situation you find yourselves in.
I think
Go ahead.
as we were moving, Tim would have suggested that Quakenbush should take point and Zeb should be back behind, given Zeb is the ranking officer.
All right.
sounds good.
Should not be in point.
All right, so Quakenbush and Zeb will switch spots here.
Lead from the back.
Righty. So at what point can I say I see the Jem'Hadar and then like make a signal for everyone to be alert?
You can literally do it right as you peek around the corner.
So Quakenbush will do that and he'll like give the signal for Jem'Hadar get in attack mode.
Okay. And as you all kind of get prepared, you do hear the warriors talk to one another, and one of them says, "Do you think we'll get more Ketracel White soon?" The other one says, "If not, then we will die gloriously."
Yeah, and in the meantime, Quaking Bush will be sort of doing sort of like a 3, 2, 1 countdown before everyone jumps around the corner and springs an ambush on them.
Okay. Yeah, let's deal with the ambush. So go ahead and one at a time, spring into action, and we'll deal with your attacks accordingly.
Wait, do you mean 3, 2, 1, then go, or 3, 2, 1, go on one?
Too late. He's already shooting around the corner.
All right. Which Jem'Hadar are you shooting at?
Closest one.
Okay, so the one right above you.
All right. Minor action to aim, so I can do the rerolls.
Shrieker will fire at this one.
Okay. Let's resolve Quakenbush's attack first. So yeah, 2 successes. That's all you need. So go ahead and roll me them challenge die. Yeah, you are going to once again disintegrate this Jem'Hadar if you're firing lethally.
Oh, yes.
All right. So, yeah, once again, this Jem'Hadar warrior kind of goes up in, well, a flash of light and is no more. And we come to Shrika. Shrika, you're up next. Yeah, Shrika, you take aim and fire, and shot goes wide. Who would like to go next?
I will.
Okay.
I'll ready the rifle against my shoulder, and I'll take the Can I use the accurate minor chart?
Yeah, if you take aim, accurate applies.
And then I'll shoot him.
Okay. All right, so you can re-roll that 0.
I just do the same thing, but 1 dice.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh.
All right, you get the 2 successes you needed, so go ahead and roll me some damage. That's missing your security score, so yeah, you gotta roll me another 5.
Another 5 challenge dice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's, I'm assuming you're using the Type 1 phaser?
Type 3.
Type 3 phaser was, for you, 9 challenge die total.
Yep. So 4 base damage.
Yeah, so another 2 challenge die. All right, so let's math. That is 1, 5. That is
10.
Another. Are you using lethal or stun?
I guess he'd have it on stun by default, but would he know that Jem'Hadar are resistant to that?
You would think they have resistance to pretty much every kind of attack. This just determines whether or not this guy goes down as a stun, or if he goes up like his partner just did.
I'll do lethal.
Lethal?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that Jem'Hadar warrior goes up and is no more. And yeah, you don't see any other targets.
Yep, so Quaking Bush will sort of come around the corner with the rifle, sort of scanning both ways.
Okay. You do see that there is a big Jeffries Tube junction to your north. But otherwise, that all the consoles in here are dark, and it's still kind of flickering illumination for lighting.
Yep, so like sweeps the rifle back and forth.
Tin is gonna.
All clear in here. Let's get to the bridge.
Does the Jeffries tube look like it's been opened recently?
Well, this particular Jeffries Tube junction is like an open, just an open passageway.
Oh, okay.
It's probably why they were guarding it. So from here, you again have the option of heading to the bridge, the transporter room, engineering, etc. And you could, again, take the Jeffries tubes, or you could go on foot. Just let me know what the play is.
Not a good move. They were clearly guarding it. They know about them. I'm not gonna catch me in one of them.
All right. So where are you all headed?
Continuing to the transporter room.
Okay.
It's the bridge, isn't it?
Well, bridge via.
Eventually.
Yeah, and Quakenbush will be bringing up the rear.
Okay. Let me grab all of your tokens here. Oh, Quakenbush, come back. Where did you go? Where did you go?
Still there, according to me.
Are you on top of someone? Oh, there you are. I was like, where did you go? All right. Copy, and then give me a moment as I play the token game. All these lovely characters I have to put on the GM layer. Paste. All right. So for sake of argument, I'm going to say you guys get to the transporter room fine. Just give me a moment, because I gotta.
I've been.
Say again.
I was just waving hi to Panek as he went by.
Ah. All right. So yeah, all of you arrive in one of the nearby transporter rooms. And yeah, there is a command lockout here, but you could, of course, attempt to circumvent it.
Tin goes over and starts doing his thing.
Okay. This would, again, be a either a daring plus engineering or a daring plus security, unless you have another argument for a task.
It's daring plus engineering.
Okay. Difficulty would be a 3.
We have no momentum.
Not at the moment. I will say someone can assist you with this.
I'm just thinking about who to do it. Quakenbush, so Ensign, Lieutenant, are either of you skilled in transporters or commands?
Not particularly, no. Sorry, just.
I'm much better at the field work.
All right. Well, Lieutenant, if you wouldn't mind going to that console and reading out the numbers on the left-hand panel here. This panel does this, and this button does this. So when I say the word, you hit this button, followed by this and this.
Understood.
All right. So yeah, I'll say.
I am very good at following orders.
Actually,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna buy an extra dice with threat. If that's all right.
Sure. I will always take threat. So yeah, Quakenbush, if you're going to be the one at the console, we'll just say a control plus, why not security, since it's your best stat.
Alrighty.
Computers or transporters and replicators focus apply here?
It would, yes.
I have a focus in jury rigging. Would that count?
I'll say sure, because you're bypassing the thing. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's 2 momentum for you guys. All right.
The captain always uses the same code for his lockout. It's always the birthday of his first host.
Svarja just kind of pipes up and says, is he aware of this? Seems like an oversight.
Well, he does have multiple birthdays to keep track of.
Yeah. Any event, yeah, you guys are able to restore control to the transporter room. And it seems like there's enough power to beam you all one place.
Right.
Strike a bridge.
Into space.
So,
They'll never
straight to the
expect an
bridge?
attack from outside. Yeah, straight to the bridge.
Beta bridge?
Beta or
Yep.
gamma, Lieutenant?
Let's do gamma, because then if they detect us air infiltration to that bridge, it'll take them longer to mobilize on us. You know, because we're farther away.
Okay.
Right. Have you ever been in a...
And worst case scenario, if they have taken main engineering, we might be able to separate Gamma section and give the rest of the ship a chance to do something about it.
All right. Give me one moment again to play with some tokens here.
Lieutenant Zeb, have you ever had a combat situation before? Do you see any action during the war?
A little too much. Killed a few Jem'Hadar, killed a few, even killed a Vorder once.
Ever been in a command situation before?
No, definitely not. Don't know if I like putting your guys' lives in my hands. But I'll do what I can.
Try not to think about how everyone on the ship is riding on you.
Thanks, Chen. Always the optimist. Remind me to get you a drink after this.
Well, if there's anything I learned from trying to get 40 colonists over a mountain and 3 or 4 half-working shuttles, it's the less you think about it, the better.
Yep, I just gotta let training kick in, do it all on instinct.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, you all set up the transporter to beam you to Gamma Bridge. And in kind of a shimmering blue light, you all do in fact materialize on Gamma. And it does appear to be somewhat better illuminated. The emergency lights aren't flickering here, but there is nobody here, and all of the screens are still under a command lockout.
Quick question.
Yes.
Would we have picked up tricorders in the armory?
I'll say yeah, you could have picked up some tricorders, no problem.
Okay. Are the tricorders affected by the EMP pulse that went off?
Active ones probably were, but since these were just kind of sitting in the armory, no, they're fine.
All right. Is there a way I can run a scan on one of us to see if we actually transported?
Sure. This would be a reason plus science, difficulty 1.
Information gathering as a focus?
Sure, why not? Yeah, you did in fact seem to have transported. There is residual traces of such.
What a paranoid bartender.
To be fair, we were on a holodeck when this all happened. You can't be too careful.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a few stories of something like this happening. Better safe than sorry.
I'll go to the ops console and begin to work on unlocking the safeties.
Okay.
Lieutenant, you might want to take the big chair. Instant question bush. Tactical. Tactical's there.
I don't know if these kind of seats are made for me.
I'll take science and communications.
All right. Svarja will take up the door just in case any, Jem'Hadar walk in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what I can bring up on these little command chair pad things.
Very basic information. Still, it would also be affected by the command lockout. But
How's
yeah.
that coming, Ken?
Working on the bypass.
All right.
Bypassing an entire ship's lockout is a little harder than bypassing one system.
Yeah, so we do need to have momentum here. So you guys are at 3 momentum, I believe.
Alrighty.
So the difficulty here is going to be a 4. And it again will be either daring plus engineering, daring plus security, or if you want to give me another argument, I will entertain it.
Daring plus engineering seems to work.
Okay.
10 works.
So who's primary and who might be assisting?
Quakenbush can assist because he's got pretty good daring.
Okay.
Spend 1 momentum to get an extra die. Can't do any values for determination because I have no values. I have no value.
All right, so
We need to get Tina Dabo, girl.
okay, that is.
Would the ship have assisted at all?
Sure, I'll throw you a bone. Let's see, what would the ship assist with here? How about computers plus security for the ship?
Yeah, let me help you get around this lockout that's specifically supposed to prevent you from getting access to me.
So who's rolling for the ship?
Good question.
I'm just scrolling through.
Okay.
I will. Ophion itself, or do we need to go to one of the specific bridges?
Do
Well,
Ophion
same
itself. It should be the same score.
Computer security?
Yep. Hey, look at that. You guys get a momentum.
Hoping for the win.
All right. So yeah, Tin, using your, well, gathered knowledge since you had all that time on the bridge to observe everyone else. Yeah, you come up with some sort of combination between Shatsu's and Captain Skull's code. And yeah, you are able to restore full functionality to this bridge.
All right, first point of order, let's lock out access to this bridge from the turbo lifts.
Okay, that's done.
Sealing the bridge. Force fields in place.
All right.
Ready. Let's see if we can get some kind of life support reading on the crew.
Okay. Who would like to be scanning for life forms?
That seems like or Shrek is about the science. She said.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess that would be me. I guess I'll do that. I'm also trying to reestablish communications. At least I'm trying to at least reestablish communication with the 3 bridges.
While they're doing that,
Mhm.
I'd like to get a sense of what's going on outside the ship to see if there's like a Dominion ship out there, if we're under attack there,
Okay. So we'll go in order of questions received. The first thing you're able to determine in a life form scan is that there are approximately 60 Jem'Hadar aboard. You're detecting all the life signs you should be, so it doesn't seem anyone has died. But you are detecting that some of these life signs are definitely fluctuating, so probably some heavy injuries. I don't really have a concrete number of how many of these injuries there are, but it's enough that Beckett and the medical staff are probably going to be busy for quite a while if and when this situation gets sorted out.
How many crew members do we have?
I think it's 180.
Do you want one of us to roll a D180 to see how many people are injured?
Yeah, let me very quickly head to the Holy Wiki and see how many are on it. All right. No, I don't want the prototype. I want the... I have to go to beta for this. D175. Wow.
Oh,
Whoa.
that many
So-
people are up. That many people are up. That's how many people we have left.
So quick math, that would be 51 are injured.
So that sort of really caught us by surprise.
As for outside the ship, you see that nearby there is a standard Jem'Hadar attack vessel, the smaller one, not like the big old battle cruiser type thing.
Yeah, the one that usually operates in packs.
This one seems to be just station keeping at the moment. Its weapons are not powered.
Or it's shield powered.
Right?
The shields are not up.
Do we have access to air weapons?
You do, if you were to decide to use them.
I would totally like to shoot them.
Do we want to try and use maneuvering thrusters to start to sort of slowly drift ourselves round into a firing position and then just unload a point blank torpedo salvo to cripple them?
I don't know.
Well,
That might.
if our shields are down as well, and if we go to try to put them up and they can't go up, we
That's a
would
good
get
point,
caught in
actually.
that blast as well.
And Jem'Hadar teleport technology can penetrate shields.
Yeah.
Can you tell if the Jem'Hadar are focused on the primary hull or one of the secondary hulls?
The answer to that is they are concentrated in key locations, so engineering, bridge, some armories, things of that nature.
Right now, their pants are down. They do not know we have access to this bridge or the weapons, right?
Let's see if we can covertly contact anyone else in the ship. Like, where's one of the larger concentrations of crew members?
At the moment, that happens to be the duck. There seems to be about 30 life signs in the duck. And there also are 2 Jem'Hadar there as well.
Ooh.
The Jem'Hadar ship doesn't have shields up.
No, it does not.
Lieutenant,
So those-
what if we
those will be the
beamed a
hostages
torpedo right into their bridge area?
I like the gall of that, but showing our hand so fast, you think that's a good idea? Damn it, do it. Do it, Chief. Never mind, I'm not going to question you. Do it.
All right. If I remember off the top of my head, beaming a torpedo is going to be a control plus engineering. Difficulty 3 because its destination is not a transporter pad.
Right.
And if someone has a better
momentum.
has a good engineering, they should do it instead of me. My control is 7.
Not me.
Tin has a transporter focus, so.
Oh, there you go.
Sounds good.
Oh, Fred. Ophion would probably assist though with
Yeah,
something.
I got to remember what Ophion is assisting with. I think it's sensors plus engineering. Let's see, where is it in Starship
Is there any
Combat?
momentum we can spend here?
You do have 4 momentum.
Sensors plus engineering. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So sensors plus engineering for the ship.
I'll roll for the ship.
Okay.
Roll high.
Yeah, can we get any extra dice on the assist at all?
Yeah, if you want to spend some dice for the Ophion, sure.
Let's. Yeah, we do need these successes to go through, so shall we burn 3 momentum to get 2 extra dice?
Sure.
Alrighty.
All right, roll. Let's see what the ship rolls. I think you're gonna have to do it multiple times because I don't think there's a drop down for
okay.
the ship.
I thought Tin was gonna get the extra 2.
Nah,
My bad.
10's already rolled, so these 2 dice are for the ship specifically. And technically, I don't
Wait,
think you can do this,
is it-
but I'm throwing you a bone.
Yeah.
Science or security?
Unfortunately, Tim got over enthusiastic and rolled before
is
we
it-
could spend
yeah.
any momentum.
Science or engineering?
Sensors plus engineering.
Okay.
All right, so 1 more roll for the ship. You do need a success here. I don't think there's anything you can do. Like, determination won't help. Well, determination would help Tin if he had a value, but he doesn't have a value.
Can Shrika assist by scanning where the Jem'Hadar weak points are on their ship and, like, maybe not the bridge, but if we put it here, it'll completely take out their bridge or something?
I would have said yes if the roll hadn't already been made, but the roll's kind of been made at this point.
I mean, I have the value. Everyone's story is interesting in some way.
we still have
so
one
could I
more
spend
dice.
that to?
We still have 1 more dice from the Ophion to roll.
Yeah, so
Oh.
let's see what
I
the
didn't
ship
realize
rolls.
that.
Yeah, let's see what the ship rolls, and then we'll go from there.
Sometimes it's fun to fail.
Hey,
Oh.
there you go.
And sometimes it's fun to succeed.
Yeah. So you guys get a momentum back, and basically what happens is Tin uses his expertise in transporter technology to nicely deposit a photon torpedo on the Jem'Hadar bridge. Now, it hasn't detonated yet. It is keyed to explode whenever the hell you want it to. But it doesn't seem that your action has triggered any sorts of alarms or response from the Jem'Hadar, though that could very well change when someone walks onto their bridge.
Can I do a scan of their ship to see how many life signs they have on their ship?
Sure. Reason plus science, difficulty 2. And the ship will assist with sensors plus science.
Reason, science, 2. I guess someone else roll for the ship. Information gathering still apply?
Sure, why not?
What's the
Oh,
ship
bloody
rolling?
hell.
Sensors plus science for the ship.
Yeah, I didn't succeed at all, so...
Yeah, so,
Can I spin my point of determination? Everyone's story is interesting in some way, because this is going to be a very interesting story someday.
sure,
if we
but
survive this.
remember that that's a re-roll at this point. If you wanted the 2 points of success, you got to do that before the roll.
Okay, so do I reroll one dice or both of them?
Many as you want. Just not the
Reasons.
assist. You can't re-roll the assist die.
I mean, they succeeded, so...
Yeah. Hey, that's all you needed. So you're able to determine that there is a Vorta on the Dominion ship, and I mean, you know, I would think standard ship layout would be common knowledge by this point in the timeline. The Vorta is in the Jem'Hadar equivalent of a brig.
Oh, now that is interesting.
Hey, Tin, do you think that you could transport this Vorta over here?
It's not from a pad, and there's probably some sort of security around the brig. Even odds they'd end up missing limbs. So yes, I think I could do it.
All right. If you do want to attempt it, I'll break it down for you. It would be a difficulty 4 task. It would be a control plus engineering on Tin's part, assisted by the ship's sensors plus engineering. And yeah, you would basically be beaming him to the bridge directly, where you guys are anyway.
It'll be tough.
I imagine the Jem'Hadar rebelled against their Vorta, who was following the Founder's orders.
Yeah, to
In
not
order to
start a war.
Jem'Hadar did not believe in the peace.
Well, this is the disadvantage when you breed a race of soldiers.
Have I been able to restore communications at all of any kind?
I would say very basic ones, maybe within Gamma section, but not to the whole ship yet.
Is there like a collection of people like hiding in a Jeffrey's tube or somewhere that we could like send a text message to on a console?
Yeah, sure. We'll say that there's a few security teams like that. What would be the message, though?
Probably something like crew in control of Gamma Bridge. Sensors indicate Vorta leader on Jem'Hadar ship is in their brig.
We might want to encode it a bit more. Perhaps a reference to the third fate has the eye.
That sounds very esoteric and cryptic.
It'll go completely over Jem'Hadar heads.
Or even Gamma is in control. This is why I always recommended naming the 3 sections.
Yeah, they are named. Well, they are wanting to do an assault on main engineering. So, I don't know. Do we have control of the environmentals in engineering?
Yes, you do.
So we could set up security force fields just outside of where they are to kind of box them in.
Well, I'm just thinking even we could just either vent the atmosphere or flood it with some sort of knockout.
Anesthetine gas. Yeah.
Anesthetine gas would be the best course of action here if you wanted to go that route.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm thinking like I don't think can the sensors get as specific as figuring out where Lieutenant Shatsu is?
I would say yes, but how do I want to say this? It would take you a little bit to find her.
I'd say just flood it, and she would do the same thing. You know, she'd have you knock us all out just to eliminate the threat.
Would it be possible to lock onto all the Jem'Hadar or like Jem'Hadar pairs or triples and beam them back to their ship or even into space?
No, not all at once.
I'd say yes, but it would be a difficulty 5 task.
I could get the couple in the dock. That would free up a third of our
That would not be a silly idea, actually.
Yeah, then we have all the 30 people in the dock ready to start moving and retaking the ship, and then we can still use the anesthetine to knock out the guys outside engineering.
Sounds good.
All right, Tin, you get
beaming
on
two people out into space is a lot easier.
You beam the two in the duck, Tin, and Quake, you do the anesthetine on the engineering.
Alrighty, and he'll also like send like that text-only alert to any consoles that are near people hiding out. In control of Gamma, anesthetizing engineering.
Okay. Question. Have you detonated the photon torpedo, or is it still just sitting there?
If I get a signal that it's like, I don't know, Shreka, keep an eye on the sensors on the Jem'Hadar ship. If anyone enters the bridge, let us know and we'll detonate the torpedo.
What are we doing about the Vorta friend?
Well, we don't know if he's a friend yet. I mean, we know is he's in the bridge.
Well, he won't be blown up if the bridge blows up. So I say we blow up the bridge now to seed confusion, and in the confusion, flood the engineering, teleport the people away from the bridge, from the dock.
Small point of order, it is a photon torpedo, and it would blow up the ship, not just the bridge.
Can we change the yields? Are they modular yields?
I mean, it's already been beamed over, is the thing.
True.
Yeah.
I say screw the Vorta.
You are the commanding officer. That is your call.
True, it is your call.
We don't know what the situation is over there. All we know is we've got to take care of ship. And if he has to die, he has to die. So, give them just long enough to soil themselves if Jem'Hadar do that, Tin, and push the button.
All right. So, Tin.
So what order are we doing this in?
Yeah, I would say that's my question. Is what is the order of operations here?
I see.
So our three things are detonate the torpedo, flood engineering with gas, and teleport the two Jem'Hadar in the duck into space.
I recommend teleportation first, then flooding engineering, and when they start to reconsider getting back to the ship, we detonate.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So the transporting task is difficulty 3, control plus engineering. Of course, the ship assists with sensors plus engineering.
Okay. Teleporting away.
Can a person assist as well, or is it either or?
Well, considering he just rolled a 3 off the bat, I think you're fine. But let's get the ship rolling there. See if you get some more momentum. And yeah, Panek, I know we're coming up on your hard limit here.
That's all right. I wasn't gonna mention it. We'll get done.
Okay, I'll roll for the ship then.
Okay.
Sensors plus
engineering,
was it?
Yeah.
And if you gotta play Zeb, whatever.
All right. All right, yeah.
No momentum.
So, Tin, you are able to successfully beam the two Jem'Hadar in the dock to their ship, I believe.
Yeah, actually, he would go for their ship.
Okay.
He would do this.
Or just space them. That way they can't be like,
No,
hey,
it's
there's a torpedo over
Well,
here.
let's be humane and blow them up with a torpedo instead of asphyxiating them.
We are Starfleet after all.
yeah. I beam them into some distant corridor of their ship.
Okay.
The same time as the beam, whenever I hear it's successful, I want to get on comms with the duck. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay.
It just so happens that Shatsu is the one that picks up, and she says, I don't know who the hell you are, but good job.
This is Shrika, the bartender. We currently control Gamma Bridge. I'm with Lieutenant Junior Grade Zeb, Ensign Quackenbush, the funny sounding guy, and Senior
Flooding-
Chief Tim.
Flooding chief engineering with the nicotine gas now.
Yeah, you heard that. We're flooding engineering with some ziffatine gas.
Flood the whole ship except for the duck and Gamma Bridge. We can sort this out later.
Understood.
Be
So
advised, there are currently 51 injured.
Well, that's a Beckett problem. Right now, this is a Shatsu taking the ship problem.
So Quakenbush will just like I don't know, probably mush the hand over the keyboard to go flood everything with the nicotine gas.
All right. So yeah,
Except for Gamma Bridge, the duck.
yeah, except for the
Yeah,
Gamma Bridge and the duck.
Lieutenant Shatsu, Lieutenant Zeb. We also have beamed over a photon torpedo into the bridge of the Jem'Hadar ship.
Well, I don't often take the ruthless approach here, but I want you to, once all the Jem'Hadar are down, I want you to start beaming them to their ship. And then when they're all aboard, I want it detonated.
Alrighty.
They do have a Vorta in their brig. I don't know if you want to do anything about that, or they could go down with their ship.
If you can get the Vorta out, great. If not, oh well.
Well, that'll be the last thing we try before we detonate it. All right. In the meantime, the roll for the anesthetine.
There's not going to be a roll. I did some research on this, and it literally can flood the ship and knock everyone out within 5 seconds. It's
Nice.
pretty freaking broken. It makes you wonder why they didn't do it as much in the shows, but you know.
Oh well, we are not going to make
it's
that
probably a
mistake.
little trickier to like do pinpoint knockouts.
Right. But yeah, you knock out pretty much everybody on the ship.
Alrighty. Next point of order: start beaming Jem'Hadar onto the ship.
All right,
Onto their ship.
I'm going to say that can just happen. So the question becomes, do you try to beam the Vorta out, or do you just, once every Jem'Hadar is aboard, do you just go boom?
Let's try to get the Vorta out, and if we can't get them through the security fields, boom.
Okay. All right, well, this would be a difficulty 4 transporter task.
Definitely
Another-
want to spend momentum.
Yeah, I spend momentum. We only have 2 momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, only 2 at the
We can only
moment.
get 1 die.
We can give him a threat to get another momentum for
Yeah.
a second die.
Yeah, I spend 2 momentum and 1 threat to get 4 die.
Okay.
My math was a hard subject.
Zeb is going
And,
to swivel his chair to Quake, and he's going to kind of go, I guess I'm going to have to work on my humble face when we get our
nice.
promotion.
All right.
There's the
hey.
Elfian's assist.
Wow, very nice. Yes, you are in fact able to rescue the Vorta.
Beaming him to the duck.
Yeah, all right. Beam him to the duck. All right.
And with your permission, sir, Quakenbush says, with his finger over the button.
Send him to hell.
Boom.
Doop.
There's a chain explosion on the view screen as you watch the Jem'Hadar attack vessel. Not quite implode, not quite explode, but it is a very nice fireworks show. And yeah, you guys have supposedly eliminated all the Jem'Hadar threats aboard your vessel.
Well, we will know for sure after the full security sweep. But in the meantime,
Yes. So kind of as a way to wrap up the scene and to wrap up the game, because we do have to end a little bit early, Svarja just kind of looks over everyone and says, Well, this wasn't exactly what I had in mind, but not gonna lie, this was a fun exercise.
Typical day on the job for Starfleet.
I'm just gonna need another Enya milk with 3 eggs this time.
I am getting too old for this stuff.
So, same time again next week.
Yeah. This
No
time,
Borg next
let's
time.
let's let Tin pick the program this time. All right. And yeah, that is.
Yeah, cut to the outside of the Ophion. Da, 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 da.
Single Jem'Hadar floating by.
Oh dear. All right. But yeah, that is where we're gonna end the session. So players, of course, stick around unless you're Panek and you've got to run.
Yep,
But for
thanks.
anyone watching on YouTube or Twitch, of course, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.